Watch my feet. As he leans, I have to use strength. So once I'm using strength, his energy is coming into me, and now my feet are starting to come up off the ground. All right, if I have sinking elbow, he leans into me, watch my feet. Quiet. What sinking elbow is that if you drop your hands down to your side, okay? So right now, we could probably all agree that unless I were to push my shoulder down, but in a relaxed position, shoulder kind of just relaxed, not being pushed any further, just natural sitting there, my elbow is as low as it can be. Agreed? Right? Okay, so now if I keep wherever that elbow positioning is, just right here on me, right? If I just lift up my hand, all right, that is now sinking elbow in this position. Agreed? Right? Okay. And so when we do Silam Tao, we keep the elbow at the most sunk position, sinking elbow, and we want to bring it to our solar plex, right? So as we're bringing it out, you notice how my elbow is not lifting? That's why when we do Silam Tao, we're pushing with the elbow forward, not upwards. Now it's lifting. Now this is not sinking elbow, it's lifting elbow, okay? So if you don't have sinking elbow, you won't be able to deal with a lot of incoming pressure because your elbow likely is lifting. If it's lifting, it's likely because it's stiff, okay? Right, makes sense? All right, so earlier when you're punching and pocketing with JC, did you feel like it felt stiff?
Yes.
Okay, and in those, besides this, which we fixed, the elbow was lifting, so it felt hard, okay? So in order to generate 5.01, we have to be able to keep that relaxed, right? And so in Silam Tao, as we're sitting in our horse and doing our form, our elbow is relaxed, sunk, never does it lift. It just goes forward. Stops one fist away, okay? So sinking elbow is, in the bone joint principle, one of the 6 joints, or 12 joints, right? 6 on each side. I'll quickly go over real quick. What essentially is there's 6 joints on each, if you cut yourselves in half, 6 joints on each side, okay? So it's 12. All 12 have to be aligned properly in order to be able to put your body in the most efficient position it can be without using strength, just using skeletal structure, okay? And the 6 are ankle, knee, hip, neck, right? Which is controlled by the chest, shoulder, and elbow. 6, all right? So one of the 6, so if elbow, to be in the bone joint principle, it has to be sunk, okay? All right, that means it's relaxed, right? If you put down your hands, it's relaxed. If you're not relaxed, right, it might be higher, but if you just totally relax, it's totally dropping down, right? Make sense? All right, so when we're punching and when it's a punching and pock style, I'm pocking, right? If my elbow, again, overextends, see, it's not sinking anymore, is it? Right, see how it's extended? So when he punches, I want to practice where it's sinking. See how it's sunk, right? So we hold it here. If I drop it down, you see it's still there, right? Not much lifting, right? So if I extend like this, right, and I drop it, see how extended it is? You see that? I'm overextending. So I want to keep my elbow sunk, punch, sunk. And we also want one fist away, right? So that's sinking elbow. So how do we practice it? Our beautiful paint can tied with a string, okay? So you practice it inside Silam Tao. See how it's, right? My arms down, relaxed. I lift it. Now I don't bring my elbow with it. I bring my hand up to my solar plex while my elbow stays in the sinking elbow position. As I drive it, right? It doesn't lift, it goes forward, okay? If you have...
When do you want to
stop? Anybody want to answer that? So the question is, when do you want to stop in Silam Tao? As I'm coming out in Silam Tao, I want to stop at one fist away. Why one fist away?
Because if you're out,
From a visual standpoint, let me show you. So I'm going to take jacks, and you guys just watch, right? Okay. So you're going to go pak sao, all right? Okay, and you're going to have one fist away. Okay, I'm going to put my arm here, and so when I'm doing this, I don't use strength. Okay, sink into your horse a little bit, and all I want you to do is push with your elbow gently towards my center. Okay, all right. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to lean on you. Okay, so don't fight with strength. Push ever so slightly with your elbow. See, so what's wrong now? You feel like you're collapsing?
yeah,
So what's wrong with this one?
I'm shaking. It's too close.
Yeah, so he's collapsing. Okay, so watch my feet. As he leans, I have to use strength. So once I'm using strength, his energy is coming into me, and now my feet are starting to come up off the ground. All right, if I have sinking elbow, he leans into me. Watch my feet. Quiet. Okay? Because when my elbow sinks, you engage, well, you have to have your hips, your horse, you engage skeletal structure. And it's not like impossible to move. There is a point of where it moves, but it will move in one unit, right? So like if it keeps coming at some point, right? At some point, I'm going to start, it's going to take a while to get there.
Yeah, wow.
So there. See how deep that was before I started my feet started to lift? Okay? And so let's exaggerate a little bit more. Let's have them go all the way until I fall. Watch the way my body falls, okay? Watch the way my body falls. See how it falls in one unit? It doesn't fall like this. Here, watch. I'm going to extend. Watch how this one falls. See how I go top first, right? Whereas when I'm structured elbow and he leans into me.
I gotta step back.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
See how my body moves almost in one piece versus kind of falling like a tree, like timber, right? I'm kind of, he's pushing, it's almost like he's pushing like a door and it's sitting on some kind of like track, all right? And it can't go like this. It kind of just moves like this. What's a good example? I can't think of one right now, but what it does, it's this thing. This is a good example. All right, this is a good example. All right. So if my arms are extended and I'm not sinking elbow, this is me, right? It looks like this, right? Agreed? Yeah. If my elbows are sunk and I have proper bone joint alignment, when he pushes, it looks more maybe a little bit at the top, but it's going to look like, like that. One solid unit.
It's like an exercise we do with the C.
It's very similar.
You just slide, it just slides instead of.
Yeah. Let them push you. Right, is the goal. The more you let them push you, and you're aligned, they have to move your whole body mass. But if you are too extended or too stiff, then they only move the weakest parts of your structure or lack of structure, which is in this point because your legs are wider than your top. It tends to go like this. This is the weak part. Okay, so to practice that, one is of course Silam Tao. Okay, two, if you ever need a guide, you can grab this. What happened to this can? That's tangled up. It was just fine a minute ago. Okay, all right. So you can take it and you put it at the end here and you let it pull it down. So as you're moving, there's always like a weight that's kind of pulling it down, right? And usually we have a heavier one. This is a pretty light one, but you can let that pull your elbow down a little bit. But you don't want this. That's sinking elbow, but that's bad sinking. That's also sinking your shoulder, right? So a very important part of Silam Tao is when you're doing Silam Tao, your shoulders are relaxed, right? In the most downward position they can be without forcing them down. They're just relaxed, okay? Like right now, no problem.
This is my actual weight, just leaning and not pushing.
Correct. So
so you can absorb that and then move and you fall.
Yeah, exactly. It's
You
like
still want to control this.
absolutely. So think about it. It's like sitting in a chair, right? You go to sit down in a chair, and someone pulls the chair away. what happens? You just like fall down, right? So if we do the same thing, he thinks there's a chair, which right now there is a semi-chair, right? So he leans on it, but if I let it go, the punch comes in. Okay, so, but the point of the sinking elbow is that it provides structure. It aligns your bones, so that way, as he leans heavily, I can hold most of it.
Now I'm actually pushing it.
Yeah.
Also.
So now, at some point, he's going to get me. But imagine what I'm doing is I'm harnessing his energy, harnessing. If I wanted to use it, I can use it, right? I can use it right there. I wanted to. That's bridge, right? Does that make sense? So you want hold, little bend, right?
Yeah,
You can manipulate it, right? You're learning how to control it. If you don't have the sinking elbow, you can't control that energy.